Okay, that's a very interesting question, and I want to refer you to the Harmony of the Gospels by Robertson, or A Harmony of the Gospels. I've forgotten which number of appendix it's in, but it's a very good description. This is not difficult. John refers to the Passover week because the whole of that week of 7 days or even 8 days, simple point is this: Jesus kept the Passover, according to Matthew, Mark, and Luke. No question. And by that is meant the Passover meal, which was eaten on the evening after it had been sacrificed in the afternoon. On the 14th, it had been sacrificed. They ate the Passover lamb, that meal, on the latter part of that day in the evening, which was by then the 15th. Then followed 7 days of Passover week. So you'll find that John is referring to the Passover week, all 7 days of it, and Matthew, Mark, and Luke are referring to the single event of the Passover supper. I think you'll find that an entirely satisfactory harmonization. It's not a contradiction. It's simply that the word Passover can refer both to the total week and to the single meal that was kept on the latter part of the 14th of Nisan, or actually going into the 15th of Nisan it was. The lamb again was sacrificed on the 14th between the evenings, between 3 and 5 in the PM time, and then began the 15th at sunset that evening at the end of the 14th, and that Passover meal which Jesus took part in was celebrated on that 15th. Therefore, it means that Jesus died on the 15th, incidentally. He died the next day, which was still the 15th of Nisan, and he was resurrected on the Sunday following that Friday. That's shown so well by Luke 24:21, where on the Sunday of the resurrection, they say, or Jesus says, today is the third day. Today, Sunday, is the third day since the crucifixion on Friday, counting inclusively today, tomorrow, and the third day. Today, yesterday, and the day before. So I can confidently say to you the crucifixion was on a Friday, I think on the 15th of Nisan, and he was raised on the following Sunday. And once more to repeat our point, the whole of the Passover week can be described as the Passover, and John did that. Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Passover means that single day on which the lamb was slain, and Jesus did indeed take part in that event. And in so doing, he then introduced what we now call the Lord's Supper, turning the original Jewish Passover into the Lord's Supper, which we're to keep as and when. It doesn't say specifically how often, as often as you come together, certainly not once a year, but it would be either once a week or once every month. I think you have a choice there. That would be the Lord's Supper, which is really a communal meal, followed by the breaking of bread and the drinking of a small amount of wine. And it really was wine, alcohol, of course. And that would be the Lord's Supper that we now call the communion service.
What I call one of those paradigm shifts,
Yes,
the Last Supper of Jesus, because Jesus replaces the ceremony of observing the Exodus
yes,
of the Israelites. That
yes.
was the law. The law said, observe, do a meal, and observe the fact that I saved you, says God to
Yeah,
Israel. And Jesus
absolutely.
comes along, and on his last Passover,
Hmm.
he replaces it.
Yes,
That's a massive paradigm shift. In other
it is.
words, if you're a follower of Christ, you're no longer to do Passover meal once a year. You're
I think
supposed
it's
to
wrong.
do the Lord Jesus memorial in memory of me.
Exactly.
Remember, he said, in memory of me. This is a massive paradigm shift for a
Yes, it
Jew,
is.
a Torah keeping Jew, that is not often emphasized, I believe.